Good morning. You are welcome to my YouTube channel, Learn with Fun. Dear students, how are you? I hope you are fine. As you know that I upload very useful videos about education, health, science and other in this channel. So if you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel and share the video to your friends. Okay? Today I'm going to talk about and interpret a poem given in grade 10 English book, The Chimney Sweeper, written by William Blake. Okay, dear students. So what can you see in the picture? I think you know. Yes, you are clear. This is the chimney. That is chimney in your house. You can find chimney, okay, in the fireplace. Next, what can you see? Yes, you can see two children. They are carrying blocks on their head. So what can you guess about their condition? Are they happy to walk? Are they walking for pleasure or they are forced to walk? So you can certainly guess about their condition. Now there are other children. Are they students? What do they walk? Are they rich? So what can you guess? So dear students, I think you might have guessed about the poem. Okay, the poem is about children, The poem is about walk, Okay, now I'll read out the poem aloud. Please look at your book, find the poem in your book, listen to me, follow me, okay? When my mother died, I was very young, and my father sold me while at my tongue could scarcely cry. Weep, 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 weep. So your chimneys I sweep, and in suit I sleep. In the first stanza, we find the speaker narrating, telling us his condition, how he started working as a chimney sweeper. He says that he was sold into this chimney sweeping work when he was very small. When his mother died, he was very young, very small. Then his father sold him into labor market, into work. He was forced to work as a chimney sweeper. At that time, he was very small. He couldn't even weep. He couldn't even cry. And he would, he was very small and he couldn't pronounce the word sweep, so he would say weep. And from this day, he started sleeping in suit in doors. So it is his condition. That little Tom Jack who cried when his head that car like a lamb's back was shaved. So I said, "Hush, Tom, never mind it, for when your head is bare, that the suit can spoil your white hair." This in the second stanza, we find another chimney sweeper, Tom Jackery. The speaker introduces us to his friend Tom Jackery, another chimney sweeper. So what happened to him? So his head was shaved. His hair was curly, okay, just like lamb's back. His hair was just like lamb's fur, lamb's hair. So one day his hair was totally cut off. His head was shaved, and he started crying very much. But the speaker consoled him not to cry by saying that when his head was shaved, the black powder soot could not spoil his white hair. So his hair would be safe. Okay, his hair would be safe from the black powder. So in the second stanza, we find that Tom Dacre was saved and he was very unhappy. It's a kind of child punishment. It's a kind of punishment to children. So this is about the bad luck, bad fate, torture to children. In the third stanza, and so he was quiet, and that very night, as Tom was asleep, he had such a sight that thousands of sweepers, Dick, Joe, Ned, and Jack, were all of them locked up in coffins of black. In the third stanza, we find the dream. Okay, the speaker tells us the dream of Tom. Tom slept. In his dream, he had a sight, he had a view of thousands of sweepers who were locked up in coffins of black. So in the third stanza, we know the dreams of Tom. In the dream, Tom had Dick, Joe, Ned, and other thousands of chimney sweepers. They were all locked up in coffins of black. His dream continues. And by came an angel who had a bright key, and he opened the coffins and set them all free. Then down a green plain, leaping, laughing thereon, and was in a river and shine in the sun. Okay, what happens then? So in the dream, Tom and his friends were locked up in coffins first. Later one angel from the heaven, messenger of God, came down with a bright key. He opened the coffins of black and made them free, set them all free. They were freed from the coffins, from the box. And the children became very happy, and they went down, they became happy, they jumped off, they started running in the ground, and they washed their body in a river. It was sun shining. The scene was very interesting, the scene was very exciting. They became very happy. This is all about dream, okay? The naked and white, all their bags left behind, they rise up on clouds and sport in the wind, and the angel told them if he would be a good boy, he would have God for his father and never want joy. So in the dream, the angel told Tom and other chimney sweepers that they had to do their work honestly. If they were right, if they were honest, they won't be sad. God would help them. God would be their father. God would save them. God would protect them. So angel gave them a message that they had to be honest. They had to work for God. God would save them. The angel told them not to worry, not to be sad. All the children became happy. Okay, they were naked and they left their bags. They were free from their work. So they play in the wind. So this is about his dream. So in the dream they were happy. So it's about happiness. So although the reality is very harsh, the reality is very hard. It's not easy to walk as chimney sweeper. So in the dream they were free from all the burden of the duty. This is all about dream. And so Tom awoke, and we rose in the dark and got with our bags and our brushes to walk. Though the morning was cold, Tom was happy and warm. So if all do their duty, they need not fear harm. So in this stanza, the narrator, the speaker, tells us what happened after that. Tom woke up from his dream, from his sweet dream, from his pleasant dream. In the dream, he felt happy anyway. Although the reality is very different, the reality is very harsh and bitter. The dream gave him a kind of happiness. And after the dream, when he woke up, all the chimney sweeper, it was dark, still dark. It was not early morning, and they got up with their bags. Although they were free from bags and work and duty in the dream. Now, Tom got off. He came to reality, and they collected their bags and brushes. These are the tools. These are the things used for sweeping chimney, and they started working again. The morning was cold. It was not a happy morning. It was cold morning. It was not a warm morning. But Tom was very happy and warm because of his dream. Anyway, he got relief from the dream. So if all that do their duty, they need to fear harm. So, and they got a message that from the angel in the dream that they had to work, they had to do their duty well, then they had no problem if they had to do their duty. So, dear students, this is the poem. In the poem, I think you have understood some message, or you have understood the content of the poem. We find the condition of chimney sweeper. They were very they were working hard. They were still child laborers. This is all about the poem. I will tell you more about the poem later on. First of all, I think you are confused with some words and their meanings, vocabularies. Let's talk about them. Scarcely means not probably, only just. Hardly. Soot, black powder, black dust, produced by the fire. Called, called here, to state, not state, called here. Hush, to keep quiet, or to become quiet. Spoil, damage. Leaping means jumping. Coffins, wooden box to keep a dead body. Naked, bare, joy, happiness. Plain, flat level of the ground, plain ground, Fear, to be afraid of. Now, summary and analysis of the poem. As we have guessed that the poem is told from the perspective, from the point of view of a young chimney sweep. The poem is narrated. We find the speaker. The speaker himself is a chimney sweeper. He tells us his as well as other his friends. The speaker tells us about himself and his friends' condition. A boy, the speaker was a boy who has been sold into labor by his father. The sweeper meets a new recruit, new friend to the chimney sweeping gang named Tom Dagger, who arrives terrified, and after the speaker tries to reassure Tom, Tom dreams of an angel who sets the chimney sweepers free, allowing them to play in green fields and then ascend to heaven. This dream seems to suggest that if the boys are obedient workers, they will get into heaven. The poem was written in the mid-18th century, when the child labor was common in England. The poet doesn't directly speak against it. Dear students, I have already told you the paraphrase, the summary of the poem. In the poem, we find the speaker who was sold into chimney sweeping work at a very young age. In this work, he find other chimney sweepers like him, Tom, Dacre, Ned, Joe, and others. All of them had the same fate, same condition. They were tired. They were very, very worried. They were tired of their work. And one day, Tom had a dream. In the dream, they had an angel. Angel left them free. They were happy in the dream. They jumped up. They washed their body, and they danced. But later on, Tom and they woke up, and again they had to work hard. They got a message from God that they had to work. They had to enjoy their work. God would save them. This is all about this. So the poem is about child labor. The poem is about the condition of children. The poem is about poverty. The theme of the cruel, miserable life is given, emphasized throughout the poem by contrast with the poet's vision of paradise in the children's dreams. Keep in mind, we find that children had a very, very beautiful and pleasant dream. Children want happiness. They want freedom. They want rights. They do not want to work hard. They do not want to work. But just opposite, they have to work hard. They have to pass a very miserable life. So the child labor is given, is presented in the poem. So in the poem we find a contrast between the children's dream, children's wish, and their reality. They wish to be free. They wish to walk. They wish to jump. They wish to dance. They wish to enjoy themselves, but they have to work hard. They have to work daily. They have to work very hard in others' houses. So we find the contrast. In the fourth stanza, an angel leads the sleeping children into the idyll. Into this idyll means present. Pleasant, where the greenery, the sun, and the river are in direct opposition to the grim, dark, urban landscape they inhabit in their working house. So this is the poem. Now, what is the theme? What can you? I think you students want to know the theme or central idea, the message of the poem. The theme is child labor. There are certain themes we can explore. We can find out. The most prominent theme is child labor. So, in the 18th century, okay, many children were laborers in Britain, and that was common in Britain. Although the speaker, although the poet is against child labor, he isn't directly speaking against child labor. He doesn't speak directly against it. He just okay means to revolt. He just means to speak against it. So the poem is about child labor, miserable condition of children, cruel condition of children, and another exploitation under the guise of under the name of religion and God. Yes, in at that time, religion was the supreme law. The religious leader, they would continue such bad customs, such social evil by using religion and God. They would say, so we find that God would be happy if they worked hard. This is given in the second last stanza. Actually, this is not good. This is illusion. So another theme is poverty. Okay, because of the poverty, because of poor condition, they had to work as child sweepers, child workers. Another theme is hope for better future. So although the children are working hard, okay, they are not free. They have burden of responsibility. They are hoping for better future, which is seen in the dream, which is suggested in the dream. So if you want to know the theme of the poem, we can say that the poem is about child labor and child, their dream. So there we find the child labor, condition of children, and their dream for better future. Poverty, exploitation, these are other common themes in the poem. Okay, dear students, thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me. Please share the video to your friends. Bye.